Most people don't lose on scholarships because they are not so good or because their results are not good, but simply because they don't know how to write that winning essay. Welcome back to Chobiness Edge. My name is Dr. Chioma, and today we have a very important guest in our channel. And the person is no other person than Mr. Onyeka Odoh. He's a multi international scholarship award winner. And today he's going to enlighten us on how to write that scholarship winning essay. So this person, Onyeka, I won't say too much about him. He's going to introduce himself later, but I've seen him win several scholarships in different continents of the world. So sit back and get the insights on how you can put together your essay to be able to give you what you want. Welcome to our channel, Onyeka. It's good to have
Thank
you
you very
here.
much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chum.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much. So, without taking too long, let's begin. And the first thing we're going to ask you today is, what was your essay like? Like your first essay, like looking back, would you laugh at it?
Thank you very much for that question. I will not laugh at it because there is a part of the Bible that says something about your humble beginning, right? And we learn every day. We learn every day. So what it reminds me is the journey so far. The mile is covered and the journey is still lying ahead. So it's something that you look back and you find a reason to thank God for how far you've come, for the little victories you've won, and for the battle ahead. So that's the way I
Mm,
will look at it.
mm. Okay, okay. Thank you for that answer. Thank you for that answer. So, yeah, I quite agree with you that there is no way that people you must have a little beginning, no matter how big you began. So when you look back, if you look back at how you began and there is no improvement or you are not surprised, you should know that you are not growing, right? So just
Exactly.
another quick one on if there are struggles in your early stages in scholarship application. Did you have a mentor? Did you have anyone that maybe one or two occasions you asked about, oh, how do I go about this essay? How do I write this thing? Or you just figured out things while you evolved?
Well, I had mentors, but not in the area of scholarship application, right?
Mm. Now, before we proceed further, can you please, or do you remember, because this is going to boost the confidence of people that are listening to our video. Like, can you remember roughly, like how many scholarships? I know that you got several, so I don't know. Is it that we know more? How many PhD scholarships you got in maybe in a space of 1 year when you were searching for scholarship?
The ones I got that were accepted.
Yeah, that were accepted, not the ones that you accepted, including
No,
maybe
the
the
ones
ones you
that
get. Of course, we
I
cannot
actually
be.
won. Okay,
Yeah.
7.
Wow, wow, wow! 7 good PhD scholarships. Please, where are the countries that you got? And if you can remember, just few schools
Yeah,
where they offered you. Let me say offered, where they offered you those scholarships.
yeah. I was offered a scholarship in Hong Kong Baptist University under the Hong Kong government PhD scholarship scheme. That was in 2020. I
Mhm.
was offered scholarship in Canada, about 5 schools in Canada, and 1 school in US, the University of Utah. So
Wow, wow, interesting. You see, that's why we are bringing quality people that know the job, people that any topic we want to cover here, we're bringing people that have first-hand information. So it means that he got scholarship in 3 different countries of the world, 7 of them. Some people are still struggling with just to get one yes, and someone is there bagging 7 scholarship. That means he had to say, oh, sorry, I cannot pick this scholarship this time. And it's not really okay. You are going to hear from the source's mouth, but I know that sometimes people that are really intellectual, like they have good grades, they have good results, they are still struggling with it. And it's not just, and people that maybe they feel that they don't have better grades than them are backing it, are backing the scholarship that are being offered things. So that is why we decided to speak specifically on the scholarship essay, because we know that it goes a long way to give you what you want, or to put you among the best in terms of being offered a scholarship. So that is going to bring us to the second segment, which is um, essay struggles. Um, so in this essay struggle, we are going to. Do you have any scholarship essay you are most proud of, and what it made it? For example, those 7 schools that offered you. Is there anything that is special about them, that you think that, oh, this was the method that made all the 7 scholarship offers to click?
All right, thank you very much, Choma. First of all, before I talk about the essay, it is imperative to note that success in scholarship is not tied to one thing.
Mm,
So what it tells us is that those who aspire for scholarship shouldn't do that accidentally. Like, you don't just wake up and decide you want to apply for scholarship. Applying for scholarship is like searching for gold. You don't see it on the surface. You have to be digging deeper. In other words, you have to be intentional that you will do this from the first day you enter the university in your first degree, if you are
wow.
looking for a graduate scholarship. So you prepare yourself in terms of working towards getting good grades, because it's a very competitive thing.
Mm,
In terms of gathering other hands-on experiences, in terms of building good relationship with and rapport with your teacher, so that they'll be willing to write good references for you.
okay.
So by the time you gather all of this, you discover that you are already setting yourself towards a specific path of becoming a potential successful applicant. Now, when it comes to scholarship, sometimes that you are rejected does not mean your materials are bad or your grades are bad.
Mm,
Sometimes you might be applying for the wrong scholarship. Every scholarship is not the same.
okay.
There are 3 kinds of scholarships. There's federal government scholarship funded by the central government of different countries. For instance, the Fulbright scholarship in the US, Commonwealth scholarship in UK, Chevening scholarship in UK, Vania in Canada, DAAD in Germany, Erasmus Mundus in European Union. I can go on and on. Now, there is institutional scholarship funded by universities with their own budget and funding. Then there are, for instance, Knight Hennessy, only for students of Stanford, Gates scholarship for Cambridge, Schwarzman for Tsinghua University in China, Rhodes scholarship for Oxford University. Then there are scholarships that are specifically for foundations, organizations. These are not universities, but they have interest in one aspect of social well-being or the other. You think of MasterCard, you think of Google Generation Scholarship, you think of Facebook. So when you understand how these things work, then you know which one you are best suited for.
Mm,
Now, every scholarship donor has specific interests, the kind of things they are looking for. And no matter how intelligent you are, no matter the grade you have, you are most suited for one kind of scholarship than the other. For
yes.
instance, if what you are doing in terms of research is development oriented, It emphasizes development, whether it is in tech, in medicine, in social work, then you might be suited for something like Commonwealth scholarship. So if you channel your strength and your experiences towards applying for Commonwealth or Chevening, you will stand a higher chances of gaining it. Why? Because the areas you have strength are the areas of their interest. It's part of UK government's development interest in their former colonies. However, with something like Commonwealth, you're expected to return from UK after your study to use that knowledge and experience to develop your community. Now, if that is not part of your interest, you might in one way or the other reveal that or expose that in your personal essay without knowing it. No matter how good you are, you might not be selected. Now, there are other scholarships that have interest in other areas. For instance, MasterCard. Now, MasterCard emphasizes leadership. They want to build people who will become potential leaders in their various institutions, society, government. Their interest is basically on leadership. So if, for instance, what you are doing is advancing knowledge, experience, expertise in the area of leadership, you might stand higher chances of applying and getting MasterCard as opposed to Commonwealth. And another difference is that MasterCard, for instance, does not, they might encourage you to go back if you want, but it's not a requirement, unlike Commonwealth. So if your interest is to live and work maybe outside of your home country, you might be better suited for MasterCard than Commonwealth. So what it means is that when you understand these dynamics, then you know that if you have built up strength in the area of development, then you know that this is the area I will channel my expertise, knowledge, experience, and I will be in a more favorable position of getting it. So that's what I want to quickly clarify. Now, coming to your question, sorry, do you mind rephrasing the question?
Scholarship, if there's any one scholarship you are most proud of and what you think made it click. Because the thing is, for you to gain 7 good PhD offer, there must be something about your essay. Fine, he made mention of several scholarship, like being intentional about it, starting early and all of that. By the way, he made mention of several scholarships. We have made a video about that. So if you want to know the scholarship that is suited for you or different scholarships that are available for students all over the world, I already have the video in my channel. You can go there and watch it and catch up with all the names he mentioned. We have covered the video. Now, your essay, what is it about your essay that these people are calling you, these people are calling you, these people are calling you?
Okay, thank you very much, Choma. First of all, I will say content and form. What do I mean? The quality of what you've proposed and how you tell your story. Telling a story is very important virtue or skill that people don't know. Those of us in literary studies, what makes Chinua Achebe so spectacular or Chimamanda Adichie so spectacular is not because of what she's saying or what he's saying, but because of how they are
She
saying it.
tells story.
If you give the same story to a different writer, you might be shocked to get a totally different novel altogether, right?
Wow.
So how you tell your story is something that you need to be to understand how stories work. Stories are something that when told in a compelling manner, they can achieve a lot of accomplishments. So first, when writing a scholarship essay, you don't have to be generic. What do I mean by that? You don't have to sound general, right?
Okay. Okay.
A lot of essays would come off in a very generic manner, and they are looking for something specific. There are people that when you pick their essay, oh, I want to change the world, make it a better place. Of course, I'm citing a Michael Jackson song, Heal the
Yeah.
World. So
Mm.
when you sound like that, you are not setting yourself up for success. How do you want to do that? What specific area of the world do you want to change? Of course, we know it is not possible for one person to change the world. But when you say, I want to change the life of 5 people in my community, they know that you are serious and it's doable. So
Mm.
they pay attention to how you want to do that and what you want to do. But even more important is paying attention to prompts. Sometimes every scholarship essay will have a prompt.
Mm.
It is not something you just rise up and answer the right into your system. No. Copy those prompts out, look at them,
Okay.
digest them,
Okay.
try to understand them. Then tailor your experiences, your research focus, your future goals, your short and long term goals, all of these to make sure they are speaking to these prompts. When you do that, you stand higher chances because sometimes some people don't pay very good attention to those prompts. And when you miss the points they are looking for in those prompts, it will be difficult for you to be selected. Now, there is the competition is very fierce.
Mm.
I've been opportune to work with a professor who works in graduate admission selection committee.
Okay.
This professor alone, the people that applied for him to supervise them, he had about 35 files on professor,
Mm.
and he's going to pick one. I am
How
not talking about all of the applicants. I'm talking
all
about
the applicants
one, one
not
professor in the committee. So if I use that yardstick to multiply the other professors in the committees, now you know that for you to get one spot, you
it's
may need
really
to
tough.
space a lot of people. So, so for you to do that, you need to pay attention to prompts. Then,
Okay.
secondly, try to connect your entire piece to the scholarship interest, right? I spoke about interest earlier on. Uh, so when a particular scholarship is funding a particular project or individual, they want to be sure that the aim for budgeting this money is being met, right? So
Mm.
another thing is aim for clarity.
Clarity.
Some people try to sound intelligent, and sometimes they produce documents that are difficult to understand.
Mm.
Now, you have to admit your limitation. We that are second language English learners and users, there is a way we
Mm.
speak and use English different from the first language users and learners. We might not know this, especially if you have not left Nigeria, which
Okay.
is why it is good to have mentors, someone
Mentor.
you can draft, this essay and say, please help me look at this. Because sometimes some of us, including myself, do transliteration without
Mm.
knowing it. That is speaking our native language with English. There is a way you use language, and English is a foreign language, right? So
Mm.
even when you are sounding very logical, you avoid critical jargons because some of these scholarships are not going to be assessed by an expert in your field. So I can give you an example. Instead of saying human subjectivity, I would rather say human growth and formation and development because you don't need dictionary to know this one. But when I say human subjectivity, only an expert in my field will understand what I'm saying. And you keep it very simple. I would rather say I'm surprised than I'm flabbergasted. I'm not trying to impress anybody. All I need to do is to make sure that I am understood. So clarity is very important. Then another thing is sometimes in a bid to sound ambitious, some of us tell lies. Now, you don't need to lie, be honest, because the problem with lying is that you run the risk of not being consistent.
Yes, inconsistency.
These
Mm.
systems were designed by very intelligent people. You might not know it. They may ask you one question in three different ways. If you have
Mm.
started with lying in the first chapter, you may not know when the
How
same
to
question
correct
come in
everything.
disguised, and then you say
Mm.
something. Once you contradict what you said before, forget it. That's
It's
file will
over
be
for you.
dropped. Because for you to be
Mm.
funded, you need to display both academic integrity and moral integrity. However, you can still tell a story of a simple act and it will appear very mighty.
Yeah.
That one is not lying, right?
Mm.
It
Mm.
is it is a skill of knowing how to tell your story in a way that projects you in a positive light. So it is not outright lying. It is it is a skill which you need to learn. Now, every essay should have three basic parts: an introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Even if you didn't start off saying introduction, when we read your essay, the introduction should have a hook. By hook, I mean suspense. When you watch some of these movies, you see the way it is starting. By the time that movie starts with that clip, you want to watch more, right? What it means is that you cannot write an excellent essay in one sitting. You need to brainstorm. You need to organize your thoughts in a manner that you will know which one to put first, which one to put second. Remember,
Mm.
these things are tips. There is no hard and fast rule about how writing is done. However, when you study the writing of successful people in a given area, you begin to see how they did their own, and you do your own like that. You cannot write a successful scholarship essay if you have not read a successful scholarship essay, which means
Wow.
reading is a prerequisite to writing
Mm.
well. So before I became successful, I had lots of failures. In fact, from 2015 to 2020, I was applying for scholarship. I did not get one single one for 5 years.
Mm.
Yes. The first passport I got expired.
Mm.
The day I went to renew the passport, the immigration officer was making a fun of me. He said, "You must be
Mm.
attending Living Faith for you to be renewing an empty passport. Where do you think you want to go?" I told him, "It's not your business. Just renew it."
Mm.
In fact, in 2018, I said I must get a scholarship. I borrowed the sum of 500,000, invested it in scholarship, applied to 10 schools in US. I got 10 rejections. I have been so rejected that if you read any rejection letter, I can tell you the country it is coming from.
Wow.
It was as bad as that. There is no single country on the planet Earth I have not applied to. China, Poland, everywhere. Then something happened. I was I told myself that, look, I can't go on this way. I finished masters. I moved from master's scholarship to PhD scholarship. I started applying for master's scholarship. Then when it was not working, I started masters in University of Nigeria in soccer.
Mm.
I finished masters. I didn't get any scholarship. I had to switch to PhD, but I did something differently.
Mm.
I started calling people who have succeeded. I said, look, I made a first class, but it's not about degree. It's not about knowledge. There is a way this thing works, and it's
Mm.
apparent I don't know it.
Agree.
If I knew it, I should have figured it out in all these 5 years.
Mm.
And then they said, what have you been doing? Let's see your application materials. You know, then they read, gave me feedback. The question I was asking myself, how is it that I didn't see this all these years?
Mm.
You know, and then my story started changing.
It started changing.
Now, the people who are applying these days are better off than myself. They have a lot of resources. ChatGPT is is a good resource. I'm not saying you should use it, but in terms of even brainstorming, knowing some basic things, some of those tools can help you. But in writing, avoid ChatGPT or any other um, generative AI. The reason is this: every human being has a voice. You might not know it, but the way you articulate, that's where God is wonderful. The way you talk, the way you articulate things, the way you
Mm,
process them, the way you bring them out is also reflected in the way when you write.
mm,
Now, machines don't have that uniqueness. When they produce ideas, everybody must know. So when you rely on them to write your essay, you will do yourself a disservice.
okay.
One disservice is that
Mm,
if you are flagged off as someone who engages in academic misconduct, not just losing it that year, if you apply subsequent years, you might still not get it because you might have been blacklisted without you knowing it. So it calls for carefulness. This is an interesting time. There are so many resources available, but there is also so many dangers ahead. Because when I was
mm,
applying, there were no generative AI. So I didn't even know these things existed. I did all my thinking myself. Now, back to the essay. When you write your introduction, the body, the conclusion, ask yourself, have I addressed some of the major issues in the prompt? If the answer is no, you go back to it. If the answer is yes, then you know it is ready for someone higher than you to look at it. Another
thank
point,
you. Thank you.
do not write straight into the application system. Make sure you copy them out.
Mm,
There are errors you may not notice. Grammatical errors are something that you can easily deal with, right? Now, there is Grammarly. You can also ask friends to help you and proofread. But when you write straight into the system, you might miss some of this. And for a competition, everything matters. Let's assume that because each application is ranked in terms of score. So
mm,
your undergraduate degree, if it's first class, he has a score. If it's second class upper, he has a score. If it's second class lower, he has a score. Your reference letter, he has a score. Your application essays, they have scores. Let's assume you have summed up your score and yours is 80, another applicant is 80, and they want to take one person. They will go back to that application. They will look at it again. The one that has grammatical error, they will remove some marks. That one has fallen short.
lost them.
Yes,
Mm,
so you see that everything matters.
mm,
Um,
okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. In fact, that's a lot of information. That's a guy. You are gaining a lot listening to this our interview. And if you are here and you are still here listening and enjoying what we are doing here, please try to click the subscribe button and then comment, share your thoughts in what we are discussing today, and share your experience as well. Yeah, let's hear from you. So
hold on,
so
Choma.
you
Sorry to interrupt you. There is a very important point I missed.
oh, okay, okay.
In writing your scholarship essays, do not simply list your accomplishments because that's many students contact me to proofread their
Hmm.
essay.
Do not
And you
simply list
see
the accomplishments.
an itemized list of accomplishments. Oh, I served as student union president. I served as secretary of Rotary Club. These things are good, but that's not what they are looking for. They are looking for the impacts. You served as the SUG president. So what?
Hmm.
How did that impact you? What is the significance of that? What transferable skills did that position help you to build? And how will those skills help you to
Okay.
succeed in these new roles?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
instead of saying I served as the SUG president during my undergraduate days, and
Mm.
leaving it at that, you can say I served as the SUG president where I developed time management skills, where I had to organize over 50 students. From there, I learned organizational skills that will help me accomplish ABC in this intending position. So
Mm.
that way, you have been able to connect your past to your present and also show how it will help you in the future.
Interesting.
So that is very, very important. If at any point you list an accomplishment, there is something we usually say in academia. So what is an important question, even when you are writing an academic essay. Okay, you claim this happened. So what? Why should we care that you served in these positions? This is why it is important. This is what it
Mm.
has helped me develop. This is
Got
what
you.
it has helped me accomplish. This is how far these skills, experiences can also help me further in this, in who I want to become. Then there is something else I've also noticed about those applying for scholarships. Sometimes the essay tends to be sentimental. People talk about how they've struggled, the hardship, the everything. Yeah, we understand coming from some of these developing countries is not very easy, but your focus should not be on your struggles. For instance, I just mentioned a while ago that I applied for scholarship for 5 years. I didn't get it. In my sixth year, I wouldn't come and tell you, oh, I've been applying for this thing for the past 5 years. They are not
And
going
you
to say, oh, you have tried. This guy, you haven't given up after 5 years. Come and take it. No.
no.
What that experience should help you do is to show that it has helped you build resilience, that you've passed through these experiences. Maybe when you're in school, you didn't have all the funding. You divided your time between going for classes and doing some extra job or summer
Yes,
job or
gotcha.
some businesses. Sure that this thing, even though you divided your time, it did not stop you from making your grades. It did not stop you from pursuing your passion. You're still as passionate as ever. So every funding body wants a passionate individual, a resilient individual. Because even when you get here, I'm in University of Calgary in Canada, in Alberta, in Canada, it's not going to be a walk in the park, right? You are still going to meet challenges, even if it's not with your academics. The weather, for instance, I came here in the teeth of winter. Someone who has been in Nigeria, and all of a sudden I found myself in a temperature of minus 30.
Wow.
And then you sneeze, blood is coming out from your nose. It's a challenge. You cannot function well under such weather. So, what they want to see is that even when there are difficulties, even when things are
You are
not going,
able to pull through.
that you're able to raise your head high and you're able to survive. So just like your experiences with your maybe student association positions, your leadership roles, even those difficult moments, what kind of skills did he help you to build? How did he help you to become whom you have become? And how would those experiences and skills equally help you to overcome? Because doing a master's or PhD in a country where perhaps you may not even have relatives around, and the kind of support you may get might not be what you intend. How would this kind of thing position you as somebody who will finish this
Mm.
right?
Mm. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, in a nutshell, if you the scholarship, according to him, that what he's proud of about his scholarship and why he was able to get so many offer is one, there is a way to these things work. He mentioned that he has been applying for several years and he couldn't get until he said to himself, I have to contact people that have gotten this. So that is why we brought him to our channel, because he has been through thick and thin, and he has a great breakthrough in scholarship. There was a time he couldn't get, and now so he can tell the story better. You can learn a lot from him. He also made mention of the fact that don't simply list your accomplishments. So what? What did you achieve? What do you achieve in the accomplishment that can help you achieve something pull through in this scholarship? Then he also mentioned that you shouldn't be generic, don't be general. So these were the things that helped his scholarship offers click. So don't be generic, be specific. If you say you want to do this, how? How do you want to do it? And in what aspect? So he mentioned quite a lot of things. Also, he said he should look at for prompts. Each scholarship will have different prompts. Look out for their prompt and use their prompt to develop whatever essay you want to write. He made mention of this is a lot of information. Avoid critical jargons. Use clarity instead. Don't just speak because sometimes you might be speaking from your mother tongue. You won't know. It will be interpreted differently. So try to make it simple. Keep it simple. Okay. And finally, he mentioned that you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie because when they ask you one question in different ways, the lies can be exposed. Instead of lying, just find a little thing you have done, create the story well to make it look big. So that even if no matter how the questions will come, you will still be able to give the accurate answer. They will not be able to say, oh, this one, the stories are not connecting. Okay, thank you for that. And let's quickly go over to
Sorry,
down to
one more
essay.
thing. One
Mm,
more thing. If
all
there
right.
is something to avoid cliches. You know what we call cliches? There are expressions that have been used over the years that they have lost appeal.
Okay.
They are very, very unacademic.
Okay.
For instance, to err is human, to forgive is divine. It is a cliche.
Cliche.
Academic is a step to success, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
make sure that kind of expression does not enter your essay. Just try.
Okay.
And when
Okay.
you look around, you will find lots and lots of them. You know, yeah, that people have used. Sometimes people don't even know the origin, but it has become a commonplace usage. Once an essay begins to sound like that, um,
Mm.
it's most likely might not be given the attention it requires.